What's good, fam? Welcome back to Inside the Green Room with Danny Green. I'm Harrison
Sure,
Sanford. A
sure.
little abbreviated episode for you guys today, but doesn't mean we're not bringing you the goods. And we saw some of the goods earlier today. Today being Wednesday, one of the major trades so far in trade season went down. Pascal Siakam, no longer a member of the Toronto Raptors. And before we even continue, Danny, I think I have to issue an apology to the entire Toronto Raptors fan base. About 2 weeks ago, we talked about Pascal Siakam and the potential of him being traded. And I said he would be the last of the players that won the title back in 2019. My fault, Chris Boucher. I'm sorry. My bad. You
Uh,
was there. I should have referenced you. We did a live pod with you. My fault. Toronto, forgive me. I know you will. All right, now let's get into it. Pascal Siakam, no longer a member of the Toronto Raptors, officially now a member of the Indiana Pacers. Pacers give up 3 first-round draft picks and Bruce Brown in order to make the deal happen. Danny, is there a winner in this trade? And if so, who?
I guess time will tell. We have to wait and see. I think it was great that they got 3 first-round picks. Could they have gotten maybe another piece? Maybe so. Pascal, I think, is definitely worth that. But, we'll see how he meshes with Indiana, which I think most of us assume that he will. The pace that they play at with Tyrese Haliburton when he comes back from his strain, I think this will be an interesting, team to put together. I think they're going to be something to reckon with and actually make themselves a team that people are already scared of them and didn't want to play in the playoffs. But with Pascal, this might be a team to give somebody an early exit in that first round as a higher seed.
Yeah, I'm gonna. We'll talk about the Raptors angle of this as well, but let's focus in on the Pacers here because they obviously got the better player in the deal. One
Mhm.
thing that stands out to me: 3 first-round draft picks, which you know what it means to me. There must be some type of agreement that Pascal Siakam is going to be there for a long time because he's a free agent this offseason, and there's just no way you give up 3 first-round draft picks without a strong belief that you're going to be able to sign him for the long term. So you have a core now, Danny, of Tyrese Haliburton, 23 years old, and Pascal Siakam, 30, and I believe Miles Turner is probably in his late 20s as well, if not 30. I found it interesting, and I was talking to some people about this. I found it interesting that Indiana is so convinced of where they are right now, particularly because of Tyrese Haliburton, that they're willing to fast track their ability to be a competitor or contender by getting a guy like Pascal Siakam, considering his age. Because you take a team like, let's say, the Oklahoma City Thunder, who have a wealth of young talent and just keep on building on it and haven't really pushed their chips onto the table. You think Pascal Siakam is actually worth putting all the chips on the table for the Indiana Pacers, considering where they've been so far this year?
Well, we'll see. I don't see it happening overnight. I think this is something they're going to have to uh, build over time. And if they're not able to do that with signing him to an extension, I think they lose out on this trade. So yes, we'll see how
Yeah, they'll
quickly they can
keep
put
him.
it together. They're going to try to keep him. Ultimately, it's up to Pascal. If he doesn't want to stay in Indiana and things don't
Nah,
work
you
out,
can't do that. It's technically tampering if you have an agreement beforehand, but come on now. Like it's gotta be understood that you're not
you
giving
would.
up that capital and losing and potentially you're not giving up 3 first-round draft picks for a half a season rental.
I've seen stranger things happen,
Mm.
and a lot of times you think there's something in place. Teams will go on. They'll risk it, and I've seen Toronto do it. With Kawhi. So they didn't have anything in place, and
It
there's already
wasn't
on this.
3 first-round draft picks though.
You gave up a lot of. You gave up Demar and Jakob. And I don't know
Yeah.
what else San Antonio
For one
got,
year,
but and I think there was picks
DeMar
too
and
involved.
Jakob weren't first-round draft picks.
No, I think they got picks with that trade too. I'm not completely certain, but I think they got picks as well. They gave up quite a bit to get Kawhi to get him for 1 year. They put it all on the table. I could see teams doing that. I don't know if Indiana thinks they're gonna win this year. So I hope they do have something in the works. But if they don't, I think they lose the trade. But if they keep him, it'll be good. I don't think that they're gonna make that quick of a turnaround where they can make it happen in 3 months.
Yeah, it's gonna. I love what they got going on because I think it's actually gonna allow Pascal Siakam to be a better version of himself. If we go back to his time there in Toronto, I think he really started to excel. Part of the reason was that he had centers that were stretching the floor. Marcus Gasol, Serge Ibaka, which allowed him to be more efficient in the paint, which is really his bread and butter. But recently, during his most recent time in Toronto, spending a lot of minutes with Jakob Poeltl, doesn't really open up the paint for him to be the best version of himself.
Scotty
So
Barnes.
Yeah, it's Scotty Barnes as well, somebody who's condensing the floor. But you look at Indiana with a guy like Aaron Nesmith shooting 46% from three. Buddy Hield
Buddy
is a
Hield.
sharpshooter. Tyrese Haliburton, obviously a shooter. Miles Turner only shooting 33% from the three-point line this season, but he's a floor spacing big.
He's
It's
dangerous.
gonna
He's capable.
exactly. It's gonna allow Pascal Siakam to be very good in the half court, and we already know, Danny, what he can do in the fast break. Imagine now him getting dimes from Tyrese Haliburton.
Yeah, well, you got him and Obi Toppin running the floor, be able to catch lobs a little bit. Obviously, he's not in his youthful days as he used to be, but he's still very able to be athletic and catch lobs and get to the paint and put pressure on it. Now, Obi Toppin also another guy that can shoot the three. Pascal's worked on the three ball as well. But yes, with Tyrese being the point guard that he is, looking to get 15 plus assists, I think it'll make the game a lot easier for him, especially with the shooters he has around him that could spread open the floor and allow him to attack the way he's used to attacking.
Yeah, I'm gonna pour out a little liquor for a guy you just mentioned, Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin was the number 6 pick in the draft not too long ago. Julius Randle was the power forward in New York when they drafted him, and yet they decided to take Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin was reportedly frustrated with his role, so what happens? He gets traded to Indiana, and I think a lot of Knicks fans were like, "Go ahead, Obi, go out there and shine in Indiana." Halfway through the season so far, he got supplanted by Aaron Nesmith in the starting lineup, and now Pascal Siakam's in the building. Danny. It shows you in the NBA
Yeah.
you got to strike while the iron is hot, and you might not even have the opportunity to strike. He probably got about 20 games to start before now he's what, second, third string power forward now. It could turn just like that.
Yeah, well, we'll see how. But I think Rick Carlisle will find a way to play them both at the same time and make them a dangerous team with the length
Mm.
and the both of those guys on the floor, especially because they're active and can guard 1 through 4, 1 through 5. Those guys can guard multiple positions. So yeah, I think it'll make them more dangerous and give them more depth. But I don't think Indiana's done yet. I think there's still some moves in the works.
Oh.
Um, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, no, they definitely have some ability to move forward as well. I don't think they moved Ben Mathurin. He's only in his second year, but obviously he's going to be intriguing prospect for a lot of teams, and maybe they can get a player in return for him. You also have Buddy Hield as well, who went into the season on the trading block, and then obviously Obi Toppin, who I believe is approaching restricted free agency. I don't think he's in the long-term future of the Pacers if you're just bringing in Pascal Siakam, so he could be somebody else that they could move. So all the arrows are trending upwards for the Indiana Pacers as we continue this 2023-24 NBA season. But let's go to the other side now, the Toronto Raptors. Let's recap what they've done now. They've gotten RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley, and the Detroit Pistons second round pick. And I think it's important to say the Detroit Pistons second round pick. This is not the Minnesota Timberwolves second round pick. This is not the Oklahoma City second round. This is the Detroit Pistons second round pick. So essentially they have a late first round pick. That's what they got for OG that's what they got for OG Anunoby. Now they trade Pascal Siakam. Not 1, not 2, but 3 first round picks for Pascal Siakam, on top of the fact they also get Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown is an interesting prospect because he has a team option next year for over $22 million. That is an attractive contract for a lot of teams in the NBA because you get to see that $22 million come off your books, or you could just have Bruce Brown for $22 million for one season. So they could potentially move him if they want to. They might be able to get another first round pick for Bruce Brown. So you're talking about maybe 4 first round picks for Pascal Siakam. I know Masai Ujiri and Bobby Webster got a bit of hell in Toronto for their lack of moves when they were, as the championship team was kind of disintegrating. They made off like bandits in the OG and Siakam trades. I'll tell you that. They did a hell of a job, and they've really reset this franchise in a fast and efficient way, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll see what they get with the draft picks. That's
Yep.
what's going to tell, who they can pick up. You have to also make some good draft picks. But yes, this time around, they did not allow guys to expire and just lose them for nothing. So they did what they were supposed to do. They found, those guys, I'm going to say a home, but a place for them to feel they had, I'm going to say worth, but a place where they can be contenders or win, or a situation where it was better fit for them and where they can rebuild. So they put themselves in really good position to be the next OKC.
Yeah, they really did. And obviously now the attention in Toronto goes on one Scotty Barnes. There's nobody holding you back. The floor is open. It is, as Darko Rajakovic said, his head coach, it's Scotty Barnes' team now. He's the face of the franchise. And Well, he went a little bit too far by saying he's the face of the league, but nonetheless, it's all on Scottie Barnes now to lead this franchise into its next era. What does Pascal Siakam's absence on the court mean for Scottie Barnes in terms of his production on the court? And what do you think this overall means for the Toronto Raptors?
Well, he now can be the primary, point forward there. They had so many other point guards and point forwards there. With the release of Pascal, he can be, that, well, I guess, Draymond with more attributes offensively. So you have Schroeder, but Schroeder can play off the ball. They have Quick, who plays on the ball, but there's going to be a lot of times where Scottie is going to get it off the board and bring it up himself, and those guys can also play, fast and off the ball with him. So it allows him to have, let's say, be that point forward that he's always been, and have the ball in his hands a lot more without Pascal being there.
Yeah, for sure. I'd be interested to see how Scottie kind of develops here. They've clearly given him the opportunity to be the face of the franchise. It's up to him to now grab it and continue to improve. So big time trade going down on this Wednesday in mid-January. Looking forward to seeing what else happens around the association with the February 8th trading deadline not too far away. As I said, guys, we're not going to stay with you for too long, but wanted to break down that trade. And also, we got to recap, was maybe one of the most hyped games, at least since the in-season tournament, in this current NBA regular season. Joel Embiid, 41-10, and 41 and 10 assists. Let me make sure the 10 is attributed to the right stat. 10 assists.
Yeah. Which broke the streak of his 30 and 10 rebound.
Yes.
He had going on.
Yeah, but he still dropped his 30 though. That's
he
for
did.
Sure.
He
still got
40.
His 30. He got 40 instead. So Joel Embiid and the Philadelphia 76ers, they go ahead and they get the win against Nikola Jokic, who came into town on Tuesday night rather yet. Daddy, we just saw I think it was the Emmys or the Oscars. I don't know, some award show just happened. And I know movies get rated by 5 stars, right? Or at least that's the thought, at least.
Yeah.
What did you rate last night's big man battle?
I'm gonna give it 3.5 stars.
Sheesh, tough crowd.
I mean, it was cool. It was great. I just think it was a regular season game. That's how they kind of treated it. They did battle off somewhat, but I think for me, it was too buddy. There was a lot of love shown. There was a lot of this, and it was making sure that everybody. I want if it was a playoff series, that's the one I'm looking for. I think it's, them going at each other. They obviously have a big respect for each other. Joel respects him. He respects Joel. They see each other as the best big men, not of just the league just now, but of the era of, I guess, maybe generational last decade or so.
Easy.
Yeah. So, they hold each other in high regard, and it showed last night, which is fine. I respect it. I enjoy that. The numbers were great. They did, do what they were supposed to do for their teams, give their teams a chance. Jokic, hell of a job on the board, 19 rebounds. I think he had 25 points. He didn't attack as much as I would like him to, but that's just his game. Joel did attack. But yes, to me, I think it was, I wouldn't say too much, just a little bit more buddy than I would like to see, than a playoff game. If it's a playoff game, they're really, this regular season, I think they're going to see each other again in a couple weeks. We'll see how that one goes. Hopefully they're both still healthy. But for me, like I said, I think the numbers don't tell how the game really went. And to me, it was a friendly game, it looked like.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see about that. They're supposed to play next Saturday, which I believe is January 26th in Denver. However, Joel Embiid has not played in Denver since 2019. Last time he played before that, 2016. I went ahead and I looked at the schedule, Danny. They're not on a back-to-back. They're not on the front leg or the back or the last leg of a back-to-back. Joel Embiid, I know you're not ducking anybody, but we gonna need you to play in Denver, bro. We gonna need you to play in Denver. Then all of the accusations that we see on Twitter about Joel Embiid ducking competition or only giving the business to the bad teams in the NBA, all that will come to an end. Just suit up next Saturday, not this Saturday, next Saturday in Denver. Again, Joel Embiid has not played in Denver since 2019. If my memory serves me correct, we're in year 2024. We need to say that. And that's all I ask, Danny.
Well, we'll see, man. Only time will tell.
Only time will tell. All right, guys, we'll see you next week. I hope you enjoy. Please do us a big favor. Rate, subscribe, rate, subscribe, review.
Subscribe, review.
All that. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button. Find us on Instagram, find us on Twitter, and we'll see you guys next week. Take care.